first, we'll start with some breaking news from the United States, where the White House says a highly anticipated meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin will not now take place in the immediate future. President Trump had previously said they would meet in Budapest within 2 weeks with a view to discussing an end to the war in Ukraine. Let's go straight to our Washington bureau chief, Ines Pohl. Welcome, Ines. What are you hearing? Why has this happened?
Yeah, I'm just actually coming from the White House, and there people told us that Secretary Rubio and Foreign Minister Lavrov had a productive phone call, and therefore that's the official explanation. An additional in-person meeting between the Secretary and the Foreign Minister is not necessary, and that there are no plans for Donald Trump to meet with President Putin in the immediate future. One of the reasons why the summit is put on hold, Phil, is Moscow's rejection of an immediate ceasefire. Moscow has long demanded that Ukraine agree to cede more territory before any ceasefire, and that, of course, is something President Zelensky is not willing to do.
Right. We knew this, though, before, didn't we? We were talking about this just yesterday, the fact that Trump said, freeze everything, everybody stop firing at each other, and immediately we heard from the Kremlin that, no, we want this, and all this, and we're not stopping. So this can't have been a surprise to the White House.
Not really, Phil, and this is kind of one of these things we experience here over and over again, that Donald Trump is announcing something, some big accomplishments, some big changes, and nothing happens, or it takes much longer before something happens. People say that he announces things before the homework is really done on diplomatic channels. And for me, as someone who is covering this country since many years, it's interesting that he announced this summit right before these big protests were taking place here over the weekend, where millions of Americans took the streets to protest Donald Trump's policies. And of course, with an announcement like that Donald Trump is meeting the Russian president, that takes a lot of oxygen, a lot of attention away from these so-called No Kings protests. So maybe in coincidence, maybe not.
Right. It's early days, and this news has only just broken. But what do we expect then in terms of a reaction from the White House? The reaction is the public reaction is this meeting is off, that meeting, the phone meeting between the two foreign ministers was productive, so we don't need to meet the leaders. But this is effectively a slap in the face, surely, to Donald Trump.
Well, it's interesting, Phil, that Donald Trump is speaking right now. Maybe he has just ended, I don't know, in the Rose Garden. And he, of course, was asked, and people shouting in this question here in the United States about the summit, which is now not taking place. But he didn't talk about it at all. So I'm sure they're also still sorting out what to say. And it shall be interesting what we hear from the White House later today. And we definitely, of course, will be following.
Thanks for that, Ines. DW's Washington bureau chief, Ines Pohl.